As the geopolitical storm intensifies, retail investors are keeping their capital flat, and financial fees are skyrocketing. Can Bitcoin continue to perform the Xiaochang miracle? Driven by both staking income and ETF concepts, will Solana be the next winner of a 60% surge? From a joke to a king, is BTCBULL going to rewrite the old script of meme coins? Swallowing half of the world's USDT, $1 and USD soar together. The Tron stablecoin army sets out collectively. Binance global layout. Who is the banker in the new situation in Kenya?
Monday, June 30th, BitcoinTV English channel. Where is the coin chain? I am Michael, and I will start with the 24-hour data headlines of the currency circle. Speaking of which, Bitcoin is really strong when it comes to geopolitical turmoil. Since 2020, every time a major event comes, Bitcoin can rise by an average of 37% in the next 60 days, beating gold and the S&P 500 (HKEX). This time is no exception. The wave of geopolitical events on June 21st smashed Bitcoin to $98,000 in just one day, scaring the market. What was the result? By June 30th, the price rebounded to $108,500, rebounding by nearly 10.7% in just 1 week, a complete performance of the indestructible cockroach script. This has been proven to be effective in history. In 2020, the US-Iran conflict rose by 20% in 60 days and rose by 21% after the COVID-19 outbreak. The US election turmoil rose by 131%, and the Russia-Ukraine conflict also rose by 15%. In contrast, gold rose by 6 to 9% at most during the same period, and the S&P 500 was sometimes good and sometimes bad, and often fell. In the final analysis, Bitcoin has become stronger and stronger in the geopolitical uncertainty, and it can be said that the signboard of digital gold has been polished brighter and brighter. Institutions and big investors are also increasingly interested in joining in the fun, making the market more stable. Now, the market has basically digested this wave of geopolitical panic. If there is no new thunder next, Bitcoin may continue to rise. CryptoQuant's on-chain data shows that as of June 29th, retail investor activity has fallen to a new low in the past 6 months. Looking at the 30-day average, transactions between $0 and $10,000 have fallen from a peak of $420 million in mid-May to only $379 million on June 29, a 10% decrease in just 1 month. Looking at the changes in the inflow or outflow of retail investors over the past 30 days, it is also deserted, directly recording negative 9.07%, indicating that retail investors are not interested in the current price. Strangely, Bitcoin itself is quite competitive, with prices climbing all the way up from the low point in June, closing at around $107,643 on June 29th. The price is rising, but retail investors are withdrawing, which is too obvious. At present, the market structure has changed. Retail investors don't like to rush blindly, and the volatility is not that big. Instead, institutional bosses are quietly hoarding and controlling the rhythm. In general, this wave of Bitcoin's rise is more like a fundamental support, not just relying on everyone's emotional speculation. Although this makes the market outlook much more stable, the pace is expected to be slower and more affected by the macro environment and institutional capital flows. Previously affected by the geopolitical events on June 21st, the Bitcoin market was once in a risk-averse mood. The funding rate was in the negative range for 5 consecutive days, and the lowest even dropped to negative 0.0043. The bears had the upper hand for a while. However, starting from June 28th, the market sentiment suddenly reversed. The funding rate soared from negative 0.001 to 0.0076 in just a few days, setting a new high in nearly 30 days. By June 30th, The funding rate was still stable at 0.00598, and Bitcoin rebounded and closed at $108,529. This wave of changes revealed three major signals. First, everyone's confidence has returned, and they all want to bet on the rise of Bitcoin in the short term. Second, the bulls have the upper hand, and the positive premium funding rate indicates a strong bullish atmosphere. Third, however, we must also be careful whether the market is too hot, and there may be a short-term correction. In general, the funding rate is a barometer of Bitcoin market sentiment. Now that the currency price is approaching its stage high, we still need to keep a close eye on how long the leveraged funds can last and whether there is spot funds supporting the bulls. Please like and follow us to sort out the latest developments in the currency circle, chain circle, and mining circle within 24 hours. Click the small bell to join the channel and become a member. You can receive the Member Wealth password from Monday to Friday. Speaking of Solana, staking is like depositing money into a mysterious bank. You lock Sol in it and help verify transactions. You can get about 5 to 7% return in a year. It sounds tempting, but for many traditional investors, words like private keys, verification nodes, and delegation are just like heavenly books. And now the crypto ETFs on the market, even the Ethereum ETF that is so popular by BlackRock, have a flaw. They can only let you hold tokens, but can't let you earn the income from staking. The SEC is like a particularly strict gatekeeper. Anyone who wants to add a staking function to the ETF will be rejected. No. However, it seems that the HKEX shares team seems to have found a new way. Let's see if it can succeed.
The US SEC recently responded to the SOL and Ethereum Pledge ETF application submitted by HKEX shares, saying no further comments, and the market sees this as a key breakthrough for pledged ETFs. HKEX shares subsequently posted on the X platform that the first pledged cryptocurrency ETF in the United States is about to be launched. Within 24 hours after the news came out, on-chain data showed that whale addresses transferred more than $1.3 billion in SOL, and futures trading volume also hit a new high, indicating that the market may be making early arrangements. ETF Store President Nate Geraci said that if it can be successfully listed, it will inevitably promote pledged ETFs to become the new mainstream of the market. Polymarket also predicts that its approval probability is as high as 92%.
Solana is much more centralized than Bitcoin or Ethereum are. Also, to approve the ETFs, the SEC has relied on regulated CME futures in order to be able to keep track of the underlying price movements in order to monitor the market. And Solana doesn't have regulated CME futures, at least not yet.
In the past, the US SEC always felt that protocol pledges were like securities, which made everyone nervous. But recently, the wind direction has changed. In May this year, the SEC also publicly stated that pure protocol pledges are not necessarily securities. In addition, the Trump administration has always called for supporting financial innovation, and the market feels that this is the rhythm of a big turn. If the pledge ETF is really released, it will be amazing. Institutions can easily get POS income, and retail investors can also earn pledged money directly in the brokerage account and no longer have to toss private keys. Those troubles. Now it seems that the SEC has no objection. Many asset management companies are estimated to be gearing up to rush the ETH Pledge ETF, and it may be listed in large quantities by the end of 2025. Look at the performance of Bitcoin ETF that year. It soared 60% in just 3 months after passing the test. If SOL is used to apply the formula, it is now $152, and theoretically it can rush to $252. Of course, we also have to remind you. First, don't forget that the Ethereum ETF has exhausted all the good news. Second, the SEC is still uncertain about whether it will release it in the end and how much it will release, as well as the details of the staking income. Third, if the altcoin season comes, FOMO emotions may make people dizzy, so you still have to be calm when investing. Since 2013, the funny Shiba Inu emoji of Dogecoin has ignited the meme coin market. Since then, this circle has never been quiet. Every few years, a new coin becomes popular. First, Shiba Inu coin, then Pepe, and now it is the turn of the hotly discussed Bitcoin bull, $BTCBULL. It seems that the meme coin C position in 2025 may very well be BTCBULL. Doge was actually a big joke back then, but it became extremely popular on Reddit and became a representative of the reward culture in the crypto world. Although it has no real application scenarios and is not scarce, Doge has directly brought the meme coin game to life with its low threshold and popularity. But over time, the price of Doge has not been tossed around much, and there is no new material to stimulate the market, so it has gradually fallen asleep.
Bull is a meme coin based on Ethereum. The gameplay is quite trendy. It directly ties the rise and fall of Bitcoin prices to investment rewards. For example, when the price of Bitcoin reaches $150,000 or $200,000, real Bitcoin will be airdropped to the holders, and part of the supply will be destroyed in 3 stages to enhance scarcity. This model closely links investment sentiment with Bitcoin market conditions, creating an interactive deflation gameplay that is rare in the market. With the end of the pre-sale on June 30th, the market showed obvious FOMO, and the officials said that more than $7.6 million had been raised in just a few weeks.
Unlike the previous meme coins that scattered after being hyped, BTCBULL offers early supporters a pledge income of up to 56% annual interest rate, which means that you can not only look forward to listing on exchanges in the future or wait for Bitcoin to break through the sky to get airdrops, but also earn interest steadily during this period. Maybe 2025 will be the time for meme coins to create miracles again. After all, Doge pioneered meme coins. HKEX set off a nationwide craze, and Pepe made everyone see the power of short-term explosive pull. Now it is BTCBULL's turn to come on the scene with a new set of gameplay and practical reward mechanism, hoping to sit on the throne of the next generation of meme coin overlord. At present, the pre-sale has entered the final countdown stage, and Bitcoin is also rushing towards $150,000. BTCBULL may really break the old routine of meme coins relying only on emotional speculation and become a double amplifier that can catch up with the Bitcoin bull market and ignite community enthusiasm. Will 2025 really be the burning moment for BTCBULL? We'll see in the next few weeks.
Tron's user base has exceeded 300 million. Stock market to tens of millions of merchants. Can Justin Sun become a legend this time? Is Binance shadow too strong? Is Kenya's new bill a regulation or a game of Binance?
Recently, the USDT circulation on the Tron network has reached $80 billion. What does this mean? That is, more than half of the world's USDT is in Tron, accounting for about 52%. The average daily transaction volume is over $15 billion, and the handling fee is simply collected without any effort. This made Tron founder Justin Sun very proud. Last week at Istanbul Blockchain Week, Sun couldn't help but show off that Turkey is the 4th largest crypto market in the world, and the per capita crypto investment is higher than many European countries. He is particularly interested in Tron TRC20 USDT. After all, the transfer is fast and the handling fee is only 1 cent. Who can resist it? And Tron itself is really good. It has earned $2 billion in 2024 alone, not only by USDT, but also by various dApps, contract fees, pledge income, etc. Now, the daily transaction volume of the entire network is about 8.9 million. The total locked position has reached $22 billion, and the number of global accounts has exceeded 315 million. I have to say, this lineup is not an exaggeration.
The new generation of encrypted payment platform EON has officially connected to the Tron network, allowing TRX, USDT-TRC20 and USDD to support offline payments in more than 20 million merchants in Southeast Asia. Users can use EON Pay to use digital assets to complete daily consumption in convenience stores, cafes, etc., expanding the actual application scenarios of cryptocurrency in daily consumption.
I believe in this year, all the stablecoin on Tron will surpass around $80 billion. I think no later than 2026, we will have $100 billion of stablecoin on Tron network. So I think the volume will double as well. We probably gonna see 50 billion or even $100 billion transaction every day happen on Tron network.
In addition to reverse mergers to enter the capital market, World Liberty Financial also went to Tron to create a USD1 stablecoin, which made Tron's ecosystem lively again. In addition, Tron's own USDD stablecoin has locked more than $400 million, which is quite impressive. From 2017 to now, Tron has made a name for itself in the global blockchain circle with its low handling fees, fast transfers, and stable network. This year, it has not stopped. Justin Sun took Tron to various crypto conferences around the world to show its presence and even directly booked the gold sponsor of Istanbul Blockchain Week. According to Tron's pace, there will definitely be a lot of big news in the future in the areas of stablecoins, payments, and capital markets. After all, for Justin Sun, it doesn't seem like he is doing decentralized finance if he doesn't appear on the hot search. Kenya recently enacted a new crypto bill, which irritated many local startups. People complained that this was not fair regulation at all, and it might just be a fast pass for Binance to get privileges. The story started with some details of the draft bill exposed by Kenya Wall Street, which actually listed a private think tank called Virtual Asset Chamber of Commerce, VAC, on the list of the newly established regulatory committee. The problem is that Binance can be seen behind all the regulatory negotiations led by this VAC recently. Some people directly criticized an organization that relies entirely on Binance to pay for meetings is now going to be a regulator. Is this legal and reasonable? Everyone had a big question mark in their minds.
The regulations are improving, and in some countries like here, they're improving fast. In other countries, many of them are, especially in bigger countries, they tend to move slower. Bigger countries do move slower. There are more departments, more people to discuss, etc. But overall, I think it's actually moving in a very positive direction.
What is even more explosive is that there is news that Binance pays $6,000 per month to the Virtual Asset Chamber of Commerce for policy publicity and signs a confidentiality agreement, which has aroused concerns among local companies. Does this constitute bribery? The industry questioned that in the future, Kenya's crypto rules may be tailored by Binance, and small businesses may lose their living space. Critics also pointed out that VAC's move is similar to its attempt to intervene in Rwanda's supervision. In response to the doubts, VAC Director Basil Ogola said that the committee has cooperated with the International Monetary Fund, the Central Bank of Kenya and others for 2 years, and the National Assembly's inclusion of it in the nomination reflects official recognition.
But to be honest, Basil Ogola's explanation did not seem to reassure everyone. Many people still think that the relationship between VAC and Binance is too close, and the regulatory scale has long been tilted. What's more interesting is that the new regulatory agency in Kenya is super luxurious. In addition to VAC, there are also the Ministry of Finance, the Central Bank, the Capital Market Authority, and a bunch of lawyers and accountants. Binance has been very fond of making trouble recently. On April 17th, Binance's CEO Richard Teng said in an interview that they are helping several countries with Bitcoin reserves and encryption policies. In May, Binance signed a memorandum of understanding with the Kyrgyz National Investment Agency to promote encrypted payments and blockchain education there. How this struggle for regulatory seats will end is really curious.
U.S. President Trump said that the U.S. should keep interest rates at 1% or 2%. He does not want to pay 10-year debts at higher interest rates. JD.com spokesperson issued a statement on Weibo to solemnly clarify the recent false news about JD.com stablecoin products and business cooperation. JD.com pointed out that some companies claim to cooperate with JD.com CoinChain, and the relevant content was false, misleading the industry and public opinion. Nate Geraci, an American ETF expert and CEO of ETF Store, tweeted that the US SEC Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund GDLC, the final review deadline for ETF conversion applications, is this week. According to CME's FedWatch data, the probability of the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates by 25 basis points in July is 19.1%, and the probability of maintaining unchanged is 80.9%. South Korean exchange Bitham announced that in order to cooperate with the DYDX network upgrade, it will suspend DYDX's deposit and withdrawal services from July 2, 2025 until the network is stable.
Okay, the above is the main content of today's program. Our channel focuses on valuable news in the currency circle, chain circle, and mining circle. There are news information and in-depth special reports. If you think our channel is valuable, you are welcome to forward and follow it. You can also become our member and receive the member wealth code from Monday to Friday. Let us become rich together and add a zero to our assets in the bull market. See you tomorrow.